Hello everyone, this is SMD Mazharul Haq, Assistant Professor, Deputy Department, ISR Engineering College, and I'm dealing with the subject utilization of electrical energy. Today's topic is remote control operation of induction motor and synchronous motor operation, and there's the starting and protection of the synchronous motor. So let us begin the topic now. The bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device is basically a device that controls the rotation of the single phase AC motor in clockwise and anti-clockwise directions. In conventional way, we cannot rotate the single phase AC motor in both directions, as well as we can only control this motor with a single phase one-way switch. In other words, if you want to control the motor in both the directions, then we must use any sort of motor drive, which could be so much costly, but it would be also operate with single phase one-way switch. The device controls the single phase AC motor in both directions, forward and reverse, with any type of common TV remote also. This device has designed with the help of single phase AC transformer, a bridge rectifier, a voltage regulator, IR sensors, single phase relay, microcontroller also. So coming to the cost, the device is less costly, more compact and more reliable as compared to the other motor drive devices. The block diagram of this bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device with all their essential components is shown in the figure. The block diagram of bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device is shown here. So it is having a transformer, this is a single phase transformer, a bridge rectifier, a blocking diode and a regulator. The regulator is giving the supply to the microcontroller and it is giving the supply to the infrared sensors also. From infrared sensor it is connected to a TV remote. Now this microcontroller is connected to a relay driver and the relays, two relays are there. One relay is having a connection to the induction motor and the other relay is having the connection with the 230 volts AC supply, as well as the induction motor and the supply are connected to each other. So if you see the diagram, you can understand where we are having this transformer, and from the transformer we are rectifying the supply to DC, and from the DC supply the regulator is having the capability to give the required voltage to the infrared sensor and microcontroller, and thereafter the TV remote is being operated as well as induction motor is being operated here, depending upon the operation of the bidirectional rotation of induction motor, whether to rotate in the clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. So relays nothing but they are sensing devices. They are used for sensing the amount of voltage that is given and the polarity of the voltage that is given for the induction motor. Depending upon the polarity and also the due to this TV remote which is having some signals to be given, will be given to the microcontroller, and then microcontroller will give the signals to relay, and the relay will give the this connection, this relay 1 and relay 2 operates based upon the relay driver, and this, if relay 1 is operating and relay 2 is operating, then the supply is given to the induction motor here. And if you want to reverse the supply also, there are some operations which can be done to reverse the supply of an induction motor by the remote control also. So we will see the working of bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device. The working of this bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device is very simple. For controlling the direction of rotation of any type of single phase AC induction motor such as exhaust fan or any motor, this device is connected in series with main supply of that specific single phase motor. This device mostly consists of electronic components which are operating from 5 to 6 volt supply, and also these single phase transformers also applied only 9 volts AC. So after that these voltages are regulated into 5 volt DC with the help of the voltage regulator. So for controlling the direction of rotation of any type of induction motor, the device is connected in series with the main supply of that single phase AC motor. So by the help of these electronic components, we are able to rotate the induction motor in either directions. From these regulated voltages, the microcontroller and IR sensors are powered up. Now microcontroller is main controller of this device. It is programmed in C language with the help of the software, and IR sensors are basically the infrared sensors which can be operated with any type of TV remote. Now when TV remote switch is pressed, the IR sensors are switched on. When these switches are switched on, then these gives the logic signal to the microcontroller, and the microcontroller efficiently control the direction of rotation of split phase induction motor. So this split phase induction motor directly powered up with the 220 volts AC supply, and its control circuit is also there. Now application advantage of bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device. By using this bidirectional rotation of an induction motor with a remote control device, the user can easily rotate the split phase induction motor in either direction. This bidirectional rotation of an induction motor device could be easily used with the domestic and industrial exhaust fans for fresh air in the hot air throughout. Also, by using bidirectional rotation of an induction motor device, the user can easily on or off the split phase induction motor with some distance without wasting any time. So these are the advantages of remote control technique of the induction motor, where we have want to get in the fresh air, as well as we can make the fan exhaust fan also we can use, as well as we can use the fan to rotate in the either direction to get the in and hot air throughout. So fresh air is in and the hot air is throughout by this rotation. And also we are seeing that remote control device easily rotate the split phase induction motor in the either directions also. So these are the benefits of the bidirectional rotation of an induction motor. Now the electric motors are an electromagnetic device that converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Based on the type of input, we have classified it into single phase and three phase motors. The most common type of three phase motors are synchronous motors and induction motors. When the three phase electric conductors are placed in a certain geometrical positions, that is in a certain angle from one another, an electric field is generated. The rotating magnetic field rotates at a certain speed known as the synchronous speed. So in these three phase induction motors, we are seeing that we are having the geometrical positions in a certain angle from one another, and electric field is generated. So the rotating magnetic field rotates at certain speed known as the synchronous speed. So it is a fixed speed motor because it has only one speed, which is synchronous speed. This speed is synchronized with the supply frequency, and the synchronous speed is given with the formula Ns is equals to 120 F by P, where N is equals to the synchronous speed, that is in RPM. RPM in the sense rotations per minute, and F is equal to the supply frequency, that is calculated in Hertz, and P is the number of poles. P is the number of poles. So we will see now, if an electromagnet is present in this rotating magnetic field, the electromagnet is magnetically locked with this rotating magnetic field and rotates with the same speed of the rotating field. This is where the term synchronous motor comes from. As the speed of rotor motor is same as the rotating magnetic field, it is a fixed speed motor because it has only one speed, which is called as a synchronous speed. So only synchronous speed is there for rotation of the motor. Usually its construction is almost similar to that of a three-phase induction motor, except the fact that here we supply the DC to the rotor, the reason of which we shall explain later. Now let us first go through the basic construction of this type of motor. From the above picture, it is clear that how we design this type of machine. We apply three-phase supply to the stator and DC supply to the rotor. The main features of the synchronous motors. What are the main features of the synchronous motors? Synchronous motors are inherently not self-starting. They require some external means to bring their speed close to synchronous speed to before they are synchronized. The speed of operation of is in synchronism with the supply frequency, and hence for constant supply frequency they behave as constant speed motor irrespective of the load condition. The second point here is the speed of operation of is in synchronism with the supply frequency. Hence for constant supply frequency they behave as constant speed motor irrespective of the load condition. This motor has the unique characteristics of operating under any electrical power factor, and this makes it being used in electrical power factor improvement also. So the third point to stress here is this motor has a unique characteristics of operating under any electrical power factor. This makes it being used in electrical power factor improvement also we can use. So these 3 points are main features of the synchronous motors. Now you will see the methods of starting of synchronous motor. The motor starting with an external prime mover and damper winding. Synchronous motors are mechanically coupled with another motor. It could be either three-phase induction motor or DC shunt motor. Here we do not apply DC excitation initially. It rotates at speed very close to the synchronous speed, and then we give the DC excitation. After some time, when magnetic locking takes place, supply to the motor is cut off. So again we will repeat this one. The motor starting with an external prime mover. Synchronous motors are mechanically coupled with another motor. It could be the three-phase induction motor or DC shunt motor. So we do not apply DC excitation initially and rotates at a very speed very close to the synchronous speed. And then when after rotating with very close synchronous speed, when the DC excitation is given, after some time when magnetic locking takes place, the supply to external motor is cut off. Like this, we achieve the starting of synchronous motor. Now the damper winding. What is damper winding? In this case, the synchronous motor is of salient pole type. Additional winding is placed in the rotor pole face. Initially, when the rotor is not rotating, the relative speed between the damper winding and rotating air gap flux is large and EMF is induced in it, which produces the required starting torque. As speed approaches synchronous speed, EMF and torque are reduced, and finally, when magnetic locking takes place, torque also reduces to zero, and hence in this case we are saying that the synchronous motor first runs as three-phase induction motor using additional application of the synchronous motors. Synchronous motor have no load connected to its shaft is used for power factor improvement. Owing to its characteristics to behave at an electrical power factor, it is used in power systems in situations where static capacitors are expensive. Synchronous motor finds application where operating speed is less, around 500 rpm, and high power is required. For power requirement from 35 kilowatts to 2500 kilowatts, the size, weight, and the cost of corresponding three-phase induction motor is very high. Hence, these motors are preferably used. Example: reciprocating pump, compressor, and rolling mills, etc. are being used. So, winding and finally it is synchronized with the frequency. The electric motor is essential drive in the modern era of industrialization. From the fractional HP AC motor used for different home appliances to giant synchronous motor and induction motor of up to 10,000 HP are used for different industrial applications also. Now it should be protected against different electrical and mechanical faults for serving their purposes smoothly. The motor characteristics must be very carefully considered in selecting the right motor protection scheme. So right, you have understood well that we are discussing about the motor protection scheme here. So as the motor is also operating, the motor protection is also very important in this particular era where anything is done by the motors only. So our automation also depends upon the motors only. So here we are running the motors of having capacity 10,000 HP to very low HP motors also. So anyhow, the protection is mainly required because any type of motor, whether it is a small motor or large motor, requires some correct motor protection scheme. So let us see now. The abnormalities in motor or motor faults may be appear due to mainly two reasons. One reason is conditions imposed by the external power supply network, and second one is internal faults either in motor or in the driven plant. So, unbalanced supply voltages, under voltages, reverse phase sequence, and loss of synchronism come under former category. So, the latter category includes bearing failures, stator winding faults, motor earth faults, and overloads, etc. The degree of motor protection system depends on the cost and applications of the electric motor. So, whatever the motor protection systems we are using, it depends upon the cost and application of the electric motor. So this is the first thing, motor bearing failure. So what is the motor bearing failure? How does it occur? So these are the things that are to be discussed now, because the synchronous motor here will be dealing with the motor bearing failure now. So ball and roller bearings are used for motor up to 500 HP and beyond this size. Sleeve bearings are also used. So the failure of ball or roller bearing usually causes the motor to stand still very quickly. Due to sudden mechanical jamming into motor bearing, the input current of the motor becomes very high. Now the current operated protection attached to the input of the motor cannot serve satisfactorily. Since this motor protection system has to be set, override the high motor starting current. So we should avoid this motor bearing failure. It is a very hazardous thing. As the motor bearing failure happens, the more current is drawn and it may cause a damage to the this induction motor, synchronous motor. It may cause the damage to the synchronous motor. This type of motor bearing failure can also be happen in the induction motor also. So we will discuss about the next thing. What is the protection to be provided against which thing to have the smooth operation of the synchronous motor. Now we are talking about the motor overheating. As we have learnt about the overheating of motor, how it occurs. The main reason is uh, overheating means the winding is due to either of mechanical or overloading. So either mechanical loading is more, mechanical overloading is done, or a reduced supply voltage is given to the motor, or unbalanced supply voltage and single phasing is being given to the motor. So the overheating may be cause deterioration of insulation life of motors, and hence it must be avoided by providing proper motor protection scheme. So the overheating may be caused due to deterioration of insulation life of the motor also. It is also one of the condition, and hence it must be avoided by providing proper motor protection scheme. To avoid this overheating, the motor should be isolated in 40 to 50 minutes even in small of overloads of order 10%. So the protective relay should take into account the detrimental heating effects of the motor rotor due to negative sequence currents in the stator arising out of unbalance in the supply voltage. So if there is unsupply voltage, unbalance in the supply voltage, then also this negative sequence currents will be in the stator will be causing the motor to heat up, overheat. The motor should also be protected by instantaneous motor protection relay against single phasing, such as a stall on loss of one phase when running at full load or attempting to start with only two of three phases alive. The other condition is motor winding failure. The motor protection relay should have instantaneous trip elements to detect the motor winding failure, such as phase to phase and phase to earth faults. We have learnt about the faults, and here we are discussing about the phase to phase and phase to earth faults. So what is this phase to phase fault and phase to earth faults, and what is the relation with this motor winding failure? We will be having a look here. The motor protection relay should have instantaneous trip elements to detect that motor winding failure has been occurred due to these two types of faults. Preferably, phase-to-phase fault unit should be energized from positive phase sequence component of the motor current, and another instantaneous unit connected in the residual circuit of the current transformers should be used for earth fault protection. So I think this is the only method to be being used for motor winding failure, to avoid the motor winding failure or to protect the motor winding failure. This is the method applicable. So what is done? The phase-to-phase fault unit should be energized from positive sequence of the component motor current, and another should be another instantaneous unit connected in the unit of the current transformers should be used for earth faults protection. So these type of things, if they are followed, then we can avoid the motor winding failure. Now we have also known about the reverse motor rotation. The motor starts rotation in the reverse direction. So how is it possible? Especially in the case of conveyor belt, the reverse motor rotation must be avoided. Why it should be avoided now? We will see that the reverse rotation during starting can be caused due to inadvertent reversing of supply phases. A comprehensive motor protection relay with an instantaneous negative sequence unit will satisfy this requirement. So what is this reverse motor rotation actually? Whereas in the case of conveyor belt, the reverse motor rotation must be avoided because the conveyor belts will be operated to take one type of item to the other place when on the conveyor belt. So the reverse rotation during starting can be caused due to some reversing of supply phases. So a comprehensive motor protection relay with an instantaneous negative sequence unit will satisfy this requirement and avoid the motor from reverse motor rotation. If such relay has not been provided, a wattmeter type relay can be also employed for this type of purposes, and we can have a synchronous motor rotation protection scheme. So not only this, a synchronous motor also requires many types of protection schemes, and nowadays many companies are coming forward to design a circuit or a circuit that is to be implemented in the this motor control diagram, so that the motor is being avoided from the hazards. Like different types of things are being affected for the synchronous motor. Like synchronous motor not only has this reverse motor rotation possibility, as well as motor winding failure and motor overheating and motor bearing failure, but also it has many types of things that are to be addressed. And the many companies has said that we are using the direct devices, or the manufactured devices are being used for protection of the synchronous motors. So students, I would like to end the topic here, and in the next topic we will study about this illumination and what are the laws of illumination. And today, as we have discussed about the synchronous motor and the induction motor and its operation, as well as how the starting and also the protection schemes available for the synchronous motors. So I would like to end the topic. Thank you very much.